Welcome to English Practice Every Day. Hey everyone, and welcome back to English Practice Every Day. I'm Kevin, and with me as always is the wonderful Jane.
Hey Kevin, and hey listeners. So glad to be here. You know, Kevin, I was just thinking about dinner plans the other day, and it got me thinking about something we all do, but it can be surprisingly tricky for English learners, ordering food in a restaurant.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of those real-world situations where you need to be quick, clear, and confident. I mean, nobody wants to end up with a plate of something they didn't order, right? Or worse, not get to eat at all.
Exactly. And it's not just about knowing the names of dishes. There's the whole interaction with the server, asking questions about ingredients, making special requests. It's a whole dance, really.
It really is. So, today, we're going to break down that dance. We'll go through some common scenarios, essential vocabulary, and practical tips to help you confidently order your next meal in English. Let's start right at the beginning, shall we? You walk into a restaurant. What's the first thing you usually hear?
Usually something like, "Hi, just two," or "Table for two," or if it's busy, "Do you have a reservation?" These are all pretty standard greetings, and it's important to be ready with your number of guests, or to say if you have a booking.
Right. So you might say, "Table for two, please," or "Yes, we have a reservation under Smith." Simple, direct. Once you're seated and you've got the menu, that's when the real fun begins. Menus can be overwhelming, especially if you're not familiar with all the culinary terms.
Oh, tell me about it. Even as a native speaker, I sometimes stare at a menu for ages. But for learners, it's a great opportunity to learn new food vocabulary. Don't be afraid to take your time looking through it.
Absolutely. And don't feel pressured to order immediately. The server will usually come by and ask, "Are you ready to order? Or can I get you started with some drinks?" If you need more time, a simple, "Could we have a few more minutes, please?" works perfectly.
That's a great tip. And while you're looking, if there's something you don't understand, don't hesitate to ask. Like if you see aioli on the menu and you're not sure what it is, you could ask, "Excuse me, what is aioli?" Or, "Can you explain what this dish contains?"
Exactly. Being polite and direct is key. And speaking of asking questions, dietary restrictions are so important these days. Many people have allergies or specific dietary needs. How would you approach that, Jane?
Oh, this is crucial. You could say, "I have a peanut allergy. Is this dish safe for me?" Or, "Does this contain dairy?" Sometimes it's good to even say it when you're first seated. "Hi, I just wanted to let you know I have a gluten allergy. Could you point out some suitable options?" Most restaurants are really good about accommodating these requests.
That's a smart move, getting ahead of it. It saves time and prevents any misunderstandings later. Okay, so you've looked at the menu, maybe asked a few questions, and now the server is back. It's time to order. What are some common ways to state your order?
The most straightforward is, "I'll have the," followed by the name of the dish. Or, "I'd like the." You can also say, "Could I get the?" or "I'll take the." They all work perfectly. For example, "I'll have the grilled salmon, please."
And sometimes you need to specify how you want something cooked, right? Like a steak. You wouldn't just say, "I'll have the steak." You'd add medium rare or well done.
Right. So I'll have the sirloin steak, medium rare. Or if you're ordering a side dish, you might say, "And I'll also have a side of mashed potatoes." Don't forget the please and thank you throughout the interaction. It really makes a difference.
Always. Politeness goes a long way. What if you're with a group and everyone's ordering? Sometimes it gets a bit chaotic. One person might take the lead, or everyone orders individually.
If you're ordering individually, just wait for the server to address you. If you're ordering for the table, you might say, "For her, she'll have the chicken pasta, and for me, I'll have the burger." It's useful to point to avoid confusion.
Good point. Visual cues are always helpful. Okay, let's say you've ordered your main course. What about drinks? That's usually one of the first things they ask.
Definitely. "What can I get you to drink?" is standard. You might say, "I'll have a glass of water, please," or "Could I get a Coke?" If you want to see the drink menu first, "Could I see the drink menu?" is perfect.
And if you want to be fancy, "I'll have a glass of your house red wine," or "Do you have any local craft beers?" Adding those little details makes your English sound more natural.
Exactly. It shows confidence. What about when the food arrives? Sometimes things aren't quite right. How do you handle that politely?
Oh, this can be awkward, right? But it happens. If your order is wrong, you could say, "Excuse me, I think there might be a mistake. I ordered the chicken, but this looks like the fish." Or if the food isn't cooked correctly, "Excuse me, my steak is a bit undercooked. Would it be possible to cook it a little more?"
It's all about polite phrasing. Avoid accusatory language. You're not saying they made a mistake, but rather, there might be a mistake. That softens it. And if you're not happy with something, "This isn't quite what I expected," can also work. It opens a dialogue.
Great point about softening the language. What if you just need something extra, like more water or cutlery?
Simple requests are easy. "Could we get some more water, please?" Or, "Excuse me, we're missing a fork." You can also use "Can I get" for these kinds of things. "Can I get some ketchup?"
So much of it comes down to being able to articulate your needs clearly, and the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. I remember my first time ordering in a country where I didn't speak the language well. It was pure charades and pointing.
Oh, I've been there. It's a humbling experience, but it really highlights the importance of learning these basic phrases. Okay, let's talk about after the main course. Dessert and coffee, how does that usually go?
The server will often come by and ask, "How was everything?" or "Are you saving room for dessert?" You can say, "Yes, could we see the dessert menu please?" or "No thank you, just the bill."
And for coffee, "I'll have a cappuccino please," or "Could I get an espresso?" And if you're really full, "No thank you, that was delicious," is a good way to politely decline.
Right, so you've finished your meal, you're full and happy. Now it's time for the bill. In some cultures, they bring it automatically. In others, you have to ask. How do you ask for the bill?
The most common way is, "Could we have the bill please?" or "Check please." In American English, check is more common, whereas in British English, bill is used. Either is understood though. You can also make a little gesture, like writing in the air, but it's always best to use your words.
Good to know the regional differences. And then there's the tipping etiquette, which can vary wildly. While it's not strictly ordering, it's part of the dining experience. In many English-speaking countries, particularly the US, tipping is expected.
Yes, absolutely. A general rule of thumb in the US is 15–20% for good service. You might say, "We'd like to pay by card," or "Could we split the bill?" if you're with friends. Sometimes you can even specify how much you want to leave as a tip when paying by card, or you leave cash on the table.
Splitting the bill is a common one. "Could we get separate checks, please?" is another way to phrase that. So, we've covered quite a journey, from walking in to walking out. What's one key takeaway you'd give our listeners, Jane, about ordering food in English?
My biggest tip would be, don't be afraid to ask questions. It's much better to clarify something before you order than to be unhappy with your meal. And remember, most servers are happy to help, especially if you're polite and try your best to communicate.
That's excellent advice. And I'd add, try to practice a few phrases before you go. Even just mentally running through "I'll have the," or "Could you tell me what," can boost your confidence significantly. Exposure is key. The more you put yourself in these situations, the easier it gets.
Absolutely. And don't worry about making mistakes. Everyone does, even native speakers sometimes. The goal is communication, not perfection. Practice makes progress, not necessarily perfection right away.
Exactly. So next time you're heading out to eat, whether it's a casual cafe or a fancy restaurant, try to actively engage and use these phrases. It's a fantastic way to improve your everyday English. You know, Jane, I actually had a really funny experience once where I tried to order water with gases in Italy, meaning sparkling water, and I think the waiter thought I wanted water that literally had a fuel smell or something.
Oh my goodness, Kevin, that's hilarious. See, these are the stories you remember, and they teach you. I once tried to order pork in a country where the word for pork sounded very similar to the word for dog. Let's just say there was a lot of hand-waving and quick correction involved.
That's amazing. See, listeners, it happens to everyone. It's part of the learning journey. These kinds of experiences, while a little embarrassing at the time, are what help you grow and understand the nuances of language. It's all part of English practice every day.
For sure. And don't forget to pay attention to how others order when you're out. Listen to the server, listen to other diners. You'll pick up so many natural expressions just by observing. You can mentally rehearse what you'd say.
That's a fantastic passive learning strategy. So, to recap some key phrases for ordering: "I'll have the," "I'd like the," "Could I get the," "What is," "Does this contain," "Could we have more," "Check bill please."
And for drinks, "I'll have a glass of water, Coke, wine." Simple, clear, and polite. You've got this. We hope this episode gives you the confidence to enjoy your next restaurant experience in English.
Absolutely. It's all about making that connection and getting what you want to eat. Thank you so much for joining us on this culinary English adventure today. We hope you found it helpful and inspiring.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Keep practicing, keep learning, and don't be afraid to try out these phrases. You'll be ordering like a pro in no time.
That's all for this episode of English Practice Every Day. Until next time, stay hungry for knowledge and maybe a good meal. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Happy dining.